past several months, people have been screaming, where is the accountability? And the state of Texas is doing something about it. This in from the Gateway pundit, 15 Democrats arrested for election fraud. And we're going to give you the details of this. So in rural South Texas, prosecutors have brought forward one of the most significant vote harvesting cases in recent state history. On May 1st, 2025, a Frio County grand jury indicted 6 people, including multiple public officials, on felony election fraud charges. The indictments, secured after a 2-year investigation led by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's office, expose an organized ballot harvesting operation that allegedly influenced multiple local races in a heavily Democrat region. Among those charged were Frio County Judge Rochelle Camacho, who faces 3 counts of vote harvesting, former Frio County Elections Administrator Carlos Segura, charged with tampering with physical evidence, Pearsall City Council members Ramiro Trevino and Rachel Garza, Pearsall ISD trustee Adrian Ramirez, who is Camacho's sister, and Rosa Rodriguez, identified as an alleged ballot harvester. State investigators say the scheme targeted elderly residents and those voting by mail with ballots collected in violation of Texas election law. Under Texas's 2021 election integrity reforms, compensated ballot collection carries a penalty of up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. The arrests did not occur in isolation. In August of 2024, Paxton's Criminal Investigations Division executed search warrants in Frio, Bexar, and Atascosa counties, seizing evidence connected to what the Attorney General's office described as an illegal ballot harvesting ring. The warrants were the culmination of years of complaints from local residents who claimed political operatives were systematically collecting and manipulating mail-in ballots. Investigators believe the operation was linked to a political network that benefited multiple Democrat candidates in local races. The investigation expanded in mid-2025. On June 30, a second grand jury returned indictments against 9 additional individuals, bringing the total number of defendants to 15. Among the newly charged was former Texas House candidate Cecilia Castellano, a Democrat, as well as former Bexar County Democrat Party Chair Juan Manuel Medina. Other defendants include current and former city officials, school board members, and county commissioners across Frio County. The charges range from vote harvesting to tampering with government records, all tied to the same alleged coordinated ballot collection network. Court filings reviewed in the case described how vote harvesters allegedly approached voters, particularly the elderly, under the pretext of offering assistance, then took possession of ballots before they were mailed. In some instances, investigators say, those involved exchanged cash or electronic payments via apps like Cash App to secure ballots or voter information. Under Texas law, offering or accepting compensation for ballot collection is a third-degree felony. Now, despite the scale of the operation and the number of public officials implicated, national Democrats and prominent state-level Democrats have been almost entirely silent. For years, Democrats have claimed that voter fraud in Texas is virtually non-existent. Yet here, in a single rural county, a 2-year probe has resulted in 15 criminal indictments, including against a sitting county judge, multiple city council members, and school district officials. Texas law treats chain of custody breaches, compensated ballot collection, and tampering with election records as serious offenses for a reason. Mail-in ballots are especially vulnerable to exploitation when voter identities, ballot custody, and submission procedures are not strictly protected. The Frio County case demonstrates how easily those prosecutions can be circumvented when officials themselves are involved in breaking the law. The article concludes by saying the election integrity is not a partisan issue, but the refusal of Democrats to address this case underscores a broader double standard. When allegations involve Republicans, Democrats demand full investigations, resignations, and sweeping reforms. When the accused are Democrats, especially in regions critical to their electoral strategy, silence prevails. Now, on the topic of election interference, that may not be the end of the accountability we're going to see. Over the weekend, JD Vance said they broke the law. A lot of people will be indicted for the Russia hoax. This in from the Daily Caller. It says Vice President JD Vance said in an interview airing Sunday that a lot of people would be indicted for aggressive violations of the law during the Russiagate scandal, arguing that those involved needed to face consequences for defrauding the American people. Let's play you some of that conversation with Maria Bartiromo and JD Vance.
I absolutely want to see indictments, Maria. Look, of course, you've got to have the law follow the facts here. You don't just indict people to indict people. You indict people because they broke the law. But if you look at what Tulsi and Kash Patel have revealed in the last couple of weeks, I don't know how anybody can look at that and say that there wasn't aggressive violations of the law. What they basically did is they defrauded the American people in order to take Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign talking points and turn them into intelligence by defrauding the American people, defrauding the intelligence agencies, lying about what the intel said. They would take something that supported a Hillary Clinton campaign talking point and they would overemphasize it and exaggerate it. They took anything that actually contradicted that narrative and they buried it deep. And through that, they actually laundered Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign talking points through the American intelligence services. That's a violation of the people's trust. That's a violation of what our intelligence services should be doing. And I absolutely think they broke the law. And you're going to see a lot of people get indicted for that. Here's the thing that should really bother the American people. What do you want our intelligence community to be doing? I want them to be catching bad guys. I want them to be making sure that terrorists aren't going to kill innocent American civilians. I don't want them laundering Hillary Clinton's campaign talking points into the American media and giving them this air of legitimacy. It is sick. And it's disgusting. It hurt the intelligence community, it hurt the American people, and it hurt the first Trump administration. We've got to have consequences for it, or we're just going to see the same play repeated again and after again.
Well, this in also from the Gateway Pundit. Vice President Vance drops a bomb during Gateway Pundit interview, says there are active investigations you won't be aware of until we announce the conclusion of the investigation. Now, I encourage everyone to read the article in full, but we wanted to play you a quick clip from that interview. Take a listen.
Sure that if you violated the law, if you broke the law on this crazy Russia investigation, you got to get prosecuted for it. Consequences. I think that's the only real language that the far left understands in this country.
I agree totally. We did see some progress today, I think, or yesterday, for they have sent out some subpoenas to Hillary Clinton, some others. Yeah,
we're sending out some subpoenas, and there are actually some active investigations, I think, that probably you won't be fully aware of until we announce the conclusion of those investigations. But the president has been very clear. The attorney general, the FBI director have been very clear. They are looking at law breaking. And for people who broke the law, it's not going to be a slap on the wrist. We're sorry. Have a nice life. It's going to be, you've got to face consequences for it. And I really think it's our sacred obligation to the American people to ensure that those who broke the law pay the price for it.
The people were promised arrests. The people were promised accountability and transparency, and thus far, with many issues such as Epstein, geopolitical activity, and so on, people's patience is running thin. Now, we understand the process JD Vance describes here. You're not going to announce your investigation subjects before the investigation is completed. We understand that. In a recent post, Dan Bongino also essentially said what he's uncovered has shocked him down to his core and that we cannot run a republic like this. We concur, Dan. This is why the people need to see actual accountability, and Texas has proven it's possible. We hope the federal government follows suit.